for this session now. Today we will continue with exploring what is subquery, correlated subquery and non-correlated subquery. Okay. And in the subquery itself, there are three types are there. One is the scalar subquery and nested subquery. And then we have something else called scalar subquery, the nested subquery plus, one second, I will write it here. It is missing here. I think I'm using the older version. Just give me a second. There are three types. One is the scalar, second, let me just, scalar subquery. And the second one is nested subquery. And we have something else called multiple row subquery. Okay. Now we'll start with understanding each and every types of subquery one after the other. And what is scalar subquery? Scalar subquery. The scalar subquery, as the name, what is scalar? First of all, scalar is a single value, right? A scalar subquery is a query, it returns a single value. So once it returns a value, we can use that. You can use, so you can use this value in an expression. Okay. And I have already discussed about this in the previous session. For example, if you want to find out the average salary of an employee, for example, I'm going to say select ename from ename comma sal from employee table where. So we want to display all the employees whose salary is more than the average salary. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to use select average of salary from my employee table. It gives me this one. So now we will break this query and understand how it works. This is my subquery. Which one? The one I have selected. That is what is subquery. It is also called as an inner query. And we will just take this value. We will execute this one. And then I'm going to click on execute. 2073 is the average salary. Okay. And those, here those employees are getting less than the average salary. That is what we are looking at here, this query. And in this case, here I can plug in this value directly here, 2073. That is the average salary, right? Okay. For dot 214. Okay. Now what I do is I'll just copy these two queries. I just put go so that we can see both the queries output in a single in results window. I just select this one and then I click on execute. And if I move up and down, you can see that 8 records in both the cases. And here we can see that 2103, right? 2073, most of the values are less than 2073, right? All the salaries are less than 2073. What is the difference between these two? Both the queries return the same output. But in this case, the second one is more dynamic. You don't have to, or you are not, this is not the best practice. Okay. First finding the average salary and then the output of the average salary, you put it here and then you query. This is not the right way of doing it. Okay. Because tomorrow some more employees may join, and even for the existing employees, the salary may increase. So in that case, the average can vary. This is average cannot be a constant value. Okay. So in that case, if you hard code the value, your query will not be dynamic. Later point in time, if you increase the salary to your employees, and if you execute this query, obviously, since you have increased the salary, the average value will get changed. Again, you need to find out the average separately, and then you need to plug in here. Here, in this case, no matter whether you increase the salary or decrease the salary, in this case, or some employees, they left the company, right? So in this case, it automatically, even in the case of any dynamism, still this one will work. This query is dynamic. Make your queries more, dynamic instead of hard coding the values. Okay. And then the next one is the nested subquery. As the name suggests, what is nested subquery? Nested subquery is the query involves multiple subqueries. A query involves multiple subqueries. Okay, so how do you write a nested subquery? So in this case, look at this here, right? So where salary is less than, we have used the subquery. Okay. Okay, and Jamal asked another question. Is there any other example you can give apart from this? Okay, okay. And what I will do is I will just use some other query since he has asked this one. And here where what are the columns are there? In this case, commission depart number. Okay. And in this case, yeah, where salary is less than this one. And for example, you have the depart number, right? So depart number is equal to, let's say you want to see only the specific depart number, okay? And depart number equal to 30. I'm going to use and here. So in this case, I don't want to see all the department. I just want to see the specific departments, those employees are getting less than the average salary. Okay. So this is another example. Okay. Likewise, you can, you would, by changing the filtering condition, you can change it. Okay. And, okay. Is there any other way that we can write this query? So in this query, what I'm going to do is, this is, okay, I just rewrite this query, something like, is there any other way we can rewrite this query? The same query, let's take the same query. I can use join condition. I just say employee, and then I'm going to use a join condition. And here in this one, I just say select average of salary. Or I just put here, okay, in this case, in the join condition, I just put AVG cell, something like that. And then on E dot salary is greater than the average underscore cell dot cell, okay. Ambiguous column name. Okay, here the salary, you need to use something like employee. No, this will not work here. Okay. Okay, what I will do is I'll just say employee E2 and E2 dot cell. I cell. Okay, and here E2 dot cell. E dot cell is greater than average cell. Let's see what happens in this case. Incorrect syntax in here, E2 dot cell. Okay, and here employee and E2. Okay, and in this case, okay, here you're not, here you don't have to specify the cell. Let's say I'm going to say cell 1 in this case, and here I'm going to cell 1. Okay. And in this case, with the join, I'm able to get this value. But in this case, it is showing something else, right? Okay, good. And here, the second query shows the correct answer, but here it shows different values. Okay. In this case, you just do an analysis and get back to me. What is the difference between these two? Okay. What is the difference between? See, in this case, Jones' salary is missing here. Okay. Here I put greater than. That is the difference. I use less than here. Okay. Yeah, both of them are giving. Only difference was the less than. But other differences, in this case, I did not use the subquery. Okay, but I have used the join condition. Okay, in the join, I have used the, here also the subquery is there, but in the from class, I have used the same table, right? The employee, and I have used the join condition. Okay, and the inner join. And here on dot e cell is less than average salary of the salary. This is another way of writing the query. You just give it a try. All that. This is very important, guys. Okay, you just try all these things. Okay, and let me just save it as this one. Okay, this way you can write without using the subquery also you can do it, but here it is a little bit a complex one. Okay, in that kind of situation you can use something like this one, the display estimated execution plan. Look here, the execution, the cost is 100%. When I use this one, and if you see it higher the cost, I know it consumes more time, it takes more time, but in both the cases it takes the same thing. Nested loops inner join. So in the nested loops inner join, compute scalar cost is 0 and stream aggregate is 0, and clustered index scan. Index scan is 49 cost, and here also 49, 80, 98 almost. Okay. And in this case, what is happening if I do this one? And this calls also the same thing, 49, 49, 00. Not much difference. But with more data, you will find out. Anyhow, don't worry, we will work with the huge volume of the data, not huge volume, reasonably good amount of data. We will work on it in the later session. Okay, don't worry. And another example is, for example, I wanted to find out the employees, like some person, right? Let's say, I have a person, Jones. Okay, like Jones. What are the other employees working? Okay, display all the employees' name who is working in the department which is of similar to Jones or someone. I just write the query here. Display all the employees who is um, working in the same department of someone. Okay, here I just say select star from EMP. Sorry, employee. Let's say in this case, we want to find out Martin. Okay, Martin. Yeah, Martin. Okay, Martin. We wanted to find out all the employees working in the same department as Martin. How will you find out? How will you write a query? This is another example, Jamal. So in this case, how do you write? Here, from employee, where, I just say where here, job is equivalent to select job from employee table, employee table, where employee number is equal, because we don't know all the employees' job, right? Only when you query select star from employee, you can see that. But what we need to do is we need to select the employees, those working in the same department as of Martin. Okay. So here, not the employee number, I just say the e-name itself. Okay. E-name is equivalent to, let's say Martin. Martin is working in which department? Is working in department number 30. Okay, what I will do is, okay, I will just, yeah, since this one has select star, it will display all the things. Martin is working in department number 30, and the rest of the employees, Alan, Ward, and Turner, right? These three employees, excluding Martin, are also working in the same department as Martin. In this kind of situation also, you can use the subqueries. Okay, this is another example. Okay, and the next one is the okay, and nested subquery. Okay, next one is the nested subquery. What is nested? So your subquery, you are writing a subquery in another subquery. It's called your nested subquery. Next one is the nested subquery. Nested subquery. A subquery inside a subquery. That is what your nested subquery. A query inside another query is your subquery. A subquery inside another subquery is called a nested subquery. Okay. And for example, we want to find out the employees whose salary is more than the average salary of a specific department. Okay, this one already we did it with this one specific department. So here I have hard coded this one. Okay, and any word coding is fine. And here with this example itself, in this case, it is fine. Okay, because for this specific requirement, yes, we cannot avoid the hard coding in all the time, right? There are some times, yes, to do the analysis, we may have to plug in some values, but try to avoid hard coding, as much as. For example, in this case, I want to see it. Select average salary from employee. Instead of this one, where department number, number is equal to, I'm going to use another subquery. Select depart number from depart where, let's say D name is equivalent to sales department. I'm going to use the sales department this time. Okay. And I'm going to close this one. And then the previous one, I need to close it here. Salary is less than average of salary from employee where department. Let's say you don't know the department number, you know the department name. So the same query can be rewritten as like this. Select depart number from depart where D name equal to sales and go here. And let's see, if these two are giving the same output. But here in this case, what is the difference here? In this case, I've used the sales But 30 we do not know, right? So what kind of department is that? Let me just see. Select star from depart. The department, yeah, 30 is sales, correct only. Okay, and sales department. And the D name is sales, whereas here also the depart number is 30. But what is the difference between these two with respect to the output? But in total, how many number of records are there? How do you find out the total number of records in a table? Programmatically, select count of star. Count of star from employee. 14 records are there. But if I query these two, if I fire these two queries, it gives me two different outputs. The first one gives me the salary is less than average. But in this case, the department number 30 is sales, and the sales department, Alan, and all the people are there, right? So, and the second one is also same as that one, right? Where salary is less than select average salary from employee, where depart number equal to select depart number from depart where D name equal to sales. In this case, how are we going to deal with this one? But the output is slightly different. So what is the difference between these? But both the queries are not returning the entire data set, right? The entire data set, because I tested it with select count of star from employee, because in the employee table, we have 14 records. Whereas the first query gives me the which query is reliable one. Okay, why am I getting this one? Smith is getting 800. And then here, what is the average salary from employee or depart number equal to sales department? Okay, in this case, I'm going to execute this query separately. Select average salary from, okay, here. No, there is a mistake here, right? And depart number. Okay, sorry. In this case, it is correct only because we have used a subquery. The output of subquery, we have combined it with the AND here. But if I want to see only this, the average salary from employee, if I give like this, 2073. Okay, and in the department number 30, what is the average salary? That is what we are interested now. If I execute this one, will that give any answer? No, it is a syntax error. Because, okay, in this case, this is very interesting thing. Okay, I just do one thing. I just simply select this one. Where depart number is equivalent to 30, which is depart number 30 is nothing but your, what is that? Your 1566, right? 1566. And in this case, if I select all the employees, directly we'll write it. Where select, we will test it now. We'll select salary from employee. From employee, where salary is less than 1566.66 and dot. Okay, and if I give like this, it gives me 7 records, right? In that case, the second one gives the correct answer. The first one was not giving the correct answer for the department number 30. If you remove this one, it works, right? And probably you can use it something like depart number. I just leave it as it is. See here, it is not giving any error. There is a semantic problem, right? So it's semantic issue here. I just tested it. Since this query was not giving any error, everyone will tend to think. Just give me a second. I'm getting a call from office. Give me a second. you understood, right? This is very dangerous thing. And when you execute the query will return the correct answer, not the correct answer, but the query will not throw any error. Which query? And this query is a very dangerous query, right? It is not throwing any error. It is giving the output, but the output, when you test it, it is not correct, whereas this query is the correct one. Okay. And here, how can I address this issue? Do I have to use nested subquery? Is it mandatory? That is what we will see it here. So now we have seen everything here, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the depart number is equivalent to 30 and salary is less than this one. We'll try this one. Okay. And I'm going to remove this condition and let's try with this one. Okay. So end of the day, we are supposed to get, look here, there is a problem here, the column thing. And okay, we don't see any. And look here, when I give a less than here, it is highlighted with some, issue here. Okay. And okay, let me do one thing. The ampersand is not working here, but still it is not much helpful, right? Here, if I check the depart number 30 is 1566. What is the average salary in this? 1566. Okay. And less than 1566, how many employees are there? 7. But this is not the correct one, right? Because in depart number 30, how many employees are there? We need to check it out. And I'm going to again, I'm going to write another query. Depart number is equivalent to 30. Which query is correct? Which query is wrong? Now we got stuck with this. In the depart number 30, average salary from employee or depart number 30, 1566. Okay, and here 1566, when I query this, and it gives me 4 employees. 4 employees, 1566. And if I execute this one, it gives me for 5 employees. It gives me 5. 1, 2, 2, 5. Somewhat it is matching with this one, right? Let me do one thing. I'll just put go here. One two five zero 1250, and obviously 1600 is not less than 1566, right? It is something wrong here. Which one? The second query. Okay, because here and department number equal to 30. It is not doing the filtering correctly here. Okay, and in this case we have tested it. It is giving me the correct answer. So in the depart number 30, the average salary is 1566. And if I see this, I can see that, okay, we will display the e-name also. Okay, only four employees. And the next one is, this one is not giving the correct answer. But if I query this one along with this, everything is correct, but except the 1600, right? 1600 is not less than 1566. And this query is not semantically correct. Okay, syntactically this is correct, but semantically it is not correct. And when I use this one, it gives me something else, right? It gives me something else. And in this case, I have used the sales. It gives me more. And most of them seems to be 156, less than 1566, right? Almost all the values are less than 1566. So in this case, which one is correct? Which one is not correct? The sales department. Okay. And why it is not correct? That I want you to analyze it. Okay. I know the answer, but I want you to analyze it. And today's query, I will send it separately. What I will do is I will just note it down here. And here, okay, this is my today's thing. Today is, what is the today's date? Today is 2nd May. second me. This script, I will send it separately right after the session. So you need to analyze this one, but this one seems to be correct, right? Almost all the values are less than 1566. 156, look here, Turner also one less than 1566, right? It is 1500, but 1566 was the average for the sales department, okay? And here what I will do is, I'll display the depart number also, okay? And here for our verification. And the second one is not giving me the correct answer. It includes Alan also. Alan is not less than 1566. So we wanted to check those employees belong to sales department and find out the average salary. And we want to find out of the total number of total employees, right? Of all the employees whose salary is less than the average of the depart number 30, which is nothing but the sales department. Okay, if I do this, I'm getting various answers. Now you understood how dangerous if you use the logic, right? If you wrong logic, if you use the logic wrongly, it will show different values. And but if you see here the last query, it seems to be reasonably correct, right? So 800, 1250, 1250, 1500, all the values are less than 156666. Okay, and the last one is nothing but the same thing. Okay, the same thing. I'll put it one more time here. I'll just remove it here. So this is an example for your nested subquery. A subquery, this is a subquery inside another subquery. Okay, so this is my subquery. This is my subquery. In this subquery, I have used another subquery. This is nested. This is an example for nested subquery. And manually, if you verify it, select star from employee, what you will get it. Yes, Jamal, I will do that. He wants to see all the employees' salary. Okay, order by, we will do that. Order by sal, we will do that to test it. Testing is very much important. With this, you would have understood. Okay, how much? Okay, here the salary is, okay, here, let me do one thing, descending. And if you see here, just, below this one, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 records should be there. This query seems to be a winner, right? 7 records are there. Very good. This one is doing the correct job. Whereas this guy, this query is helpful. Okay. And why the mistake there? And from employees where depart number, how to make a mistake, how to correct it. Okay, and we will try with this one. Even this one should also return 7 now. It is written 7. Now you understood the difference between the wrongly written query and the correctly written query. Okay, this is the corrected query. So the do's and don'ts, what you're not. See, in this case, if this is already a subquery, the output of the subquery will be used, the output of the subquery will be used for your outer query. The output of your subquery drives your outer query. This is your outer query, drives your query. In this case, means I put intentionally average salary from employee and depart number equal. In this case, what happened? It goes with the subquery. Okay, in the subquery, what happens? The subquery returns the total thing, right? The overall average, and then it gives me that one. So now I fix the query. It might sound confusing now, but don't expect all the time you will get a very simple requirement. Okay, so this is how it will be confusing. You're not supposed to get confused, but both the queries now, if I execute it, both of them should give the correct answer here. Correct. So all of them are giving 1566. We don't see anything above 1500, but Turner is 150. So both of them are correct query. So this is an example for your subquery, and this is for your nested subquery. The next one is the multi-row subquery. So in this case, the subquery was returning only one value, right? Scalar value. Okay. And even in this case, it was giving me only one value. Okay. What is the average salary for the depart number sales? It gives me a scalar value, single value. So hence it is called a scalar subquery. Okay. But the subquery returns a single value. But since we have used a subquery inside another subquery, we call it a nested subquery. Okay. And is there any possibility that my subquery can return more than one row? That is what your multi-row subquery. Okay, multiple row subquery. What do you mean by multiple row subquery? How can I use this one? How do I use this one? We have something called in all any. Okay, if you wanted to use any comparison operators, in the case of comparison operators, when we use comparison operators like in, any, and all, I'm not sure if all is available in SQL query. When we use comparison operators, so this one will return more than one record here. Okay. Okay. Let us use the same query here. Okay, and we will see what is happening here. And okay, let me just take the same query in the interest of time. And I just said the same thing. Here, what we will do is, let us display the employees who earn a salary that is less than the salary of all the employees of the sales department. Same thing. Okay, we will see. Is there anything we can do it with this? In this case, where a salary is less than, I'm going to use the. We can use the same thing also, where depart number is equivalent to 30 is the sales department. Okay, and in this case, I'm not sure if the SQL server support all. And yes, it gives me the same output here. So in this case, I told you, right, multiple row subquery. So what is multiple row? Multiple row subqueries are nothing but the nested queries, which can return more than one row of the results to the parent query. More than one results to the parent query. So, okay, this is one of the examples for this one, because the all will return more than one record. Okay, all will return more than one record. So this is one example for this one. And is there any other example we can use it? Multiple row subquery. So what I am going to do is okay, multiple row. So let's take another example. Okay. um, we can use the correlated subquery. In the case of correlated subquery, right, we can use we can return multi-row subquery. Okay, that is a classic example for the multi-row subquery. Okay. Okay. The subquery which returns more than one row. But in the case of scalar subquery, the subquery should return only one value. In the case of scalar subquery, okay. And what if my query, my subquery returns more than one value? Will it work? It will not work. It will throw an error, right? So how do we deal with that one in that case of if my subquery returns more than one row, how do I deal with that? The multiple row subquery is, what is that? It returns more than one row of the data. Okay. So for example, I just wanted to rewrite this one. Okay. Maybe this is, I'll write a much better SQL query wherein you can, in this case, I'm going to write all the same example. Okay. Where depart number in depart number in, select the depart number from the depart. Okay, say select depart number from department where depart number equal to 30, the same thing. So in this case, select department number from depart number 30. Okay, in this case, what will happen? I'll return 30, right? Okay, what I will do is where, but the other examples we can use it. We can use, see, in will return more than one thing. Okay. Okay, so in this case, what is happening here? The department number for all the or let's department name. Okay, this is the data is not the correct data. If I use something else, that one I need to use some other data, and that's what I'm thinking now. Where okay, best thing is we can use some product and the category data. Okay, and a single category you will have multiple products, right? A single product. So for example, I just see is there any okay. What I will do is I will use location is there, right? Let me just see select star from depart table. In this case, okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to update depart table and set location. This is how you need to use the DML statement, okay, the update statement. If I want to modify the data, okay, and what I will do is set a location as Seattle. But even if I do Seattle, let's say even in Seattle, you have sales department. So in that case, the depart number will be 30, okay? But if I put, one more 30 here, it will throw an error because of the primary key violation. The classic example is the category, okay? Let's say you have something like beverages category, okay? In the beverages category, you have different products are there, Coke and 7-Up, likewise, different categories are there. Okay, we want to list out all the products that are available under beverages category. So in that kind of situation, you can use something like this. What I will do is I'll quickly create some table. I don't have the data here. Instead, what I was thinking is, okay, let me do one thing. Here, I will just insert the data, okay, and I'm going to list out all the employees. Okay, I will just do one thing. Insert into depart table. Values, let's say I'm going to say 50, comma, I just put some other department, let's know the department is marketing. I just say here, Atlanta. So two departments two departments are there in Atlanta city. Okay. And now what I do is I wanted to display the department name. Okay. And for example, the employees. Okay. But again, I need to have the data for marketing department in my employee table, right? So I need to make some changes to that. And okay, what I want to do is select e-name, comma, the depart number from from e-employee, where depart number in select depart number from my depart table, where location is equivalent to Atlanta. And if I execute this query, it will give me more than one row. More than one row. In this case, okay. And let's say if this query is going to work in this case, it is working fine, right? List all the employees along with their department number, and the department number in Atlanta, and on the department number where the location is Atlanta. So in Atlanta, we have sales department and we have marketing department. Okay. So in that case, it is working fine. So in this case, I have inserted a new department called 50. Though the 50 related department number is not there, it is still working. So this is a classic. Are you able to understand? I just execute this one, 3050. More than one record, multi-row records. This is an example for multi-row record, multi-row subquery. In this case, the subquery is not returning a single value, which is nothing but a scalar value. Instead, it returns more than one value. Hence, it is called a multi-row subquery. The other example, for example, you are selling products. Each product let's say a single category, you have multiple products are there. Classic example is, let's say you have something called beverages. What are the beverages are there? Beverages can be, tea, coffee also, right? Tea and coffee also, you can specify that. Tea, coffee, and boost, something like that. And let's say in my query, I'm going to use something like, this is the one, I remember it, in our office, we use it, select. This is a common thing, product underscore name, comma, unit price, something like that. And then cat ID. From products table, and where the cat underscore ID is equivalent to, sorry, the not is equal to in. So with in, you can compare more than one value, isn't it? So category ID in, select the cat underscore ID from my categories table, where the category name is equivalent to beverages. This is a classic example. Are you able to understand? In the single category, listen, I have the beverages is a category, okay? And tea, coffee, boost are products. The category name is beverage. The products are tea and coffee. I wanted to find out what are the products falls under the category beverages. In this case, more than one product, right? Tea, coffee, boost falls under the category beverages. With this query gives me all the, it gives me the beverages related category. Okay, in this case, you have multiple categories are there. So the beverage is one of the category. Okay, in this case, what will happen is all the products that belongs to the beverages. That is also possible here. This is other way of checking it out here. Okay, and this query returns which one? Where category ID equal to category name equal to beverages. Category name is equal to beverages. In this case, what is happening? It returns multiple rows of data, specifically the category ID. Okay, specifically the category ID values for all categories with the name of beverages. So here I'm using a category ID column is available in my products table also. Okay, but in this table, you have multiple categories, category IDs are there. Under multiple categories, or each category is, you can find different products. Okay, beverages, so you have tea and something like that. But in the outer query, right, what it does is it uses the in operator to select all the products whose category is in the list of category ID values returned by the subcategory. Okay. This is one example, or this is a classic example. Okay, this one returns multiple rows in this case. You can use in, any also, in, any, all these operators to return more than one value. So it is not that all the time you can expect your subquery to return only the scalar value. Okay, in the case of aggregation, average, min, max, obviously it returns only one value. Okay, average, min, max. If you use any aggregated value, it gives you only that one, right? For example, there are some cases like this. I wanted to see all the employees, whose department location is Atlanta. The Atlanta, we have multiple departments are there. The subquery returns more than one row here in this case. So what we want to say is we want to see all the employees, whose department in the department, and at the same time location equal to Atlanta. Atlanta, more than one department is there, right? This query obviously returns multiple records, right? So in that case, this query uses the multiple query to return the output, okay? So in this case, what is happening? The subquery returns more than one row, which makes it a multiple row subquery. The multiple row subquery is what is happening. Okay, 1 second, just give me a second. Right, so this subquery returns more than one row, which makes it a multiple row subquery. You can use this kind of multiple row subquery in different scenarios, okay, like filtering a set of rows based on a condition that requires a set of values, okay. In that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. So far, we discussed about the subquery only, and we have something else called the nested subquery. Sorry, not the nested subquery, correlated subquery. What is correlated subquery? What is correlated subquery? Can someone tell me? What is the correlated subquery? Anybody has any idea? Yes, Jamal. Okay. The outer query? You are somewhat, your answer is partially correct, but it is not fully correct. Okay. And okay, I will explain you what is correlated subquery is all about. Okay. So what is correlated subquery? Correlated subquery is a subquery that uses the values of the outer query. Okay. Correlated subquery is a subquery that uses the value of the outer query. Okay. So in that case, the subquery needs a value from your outer query. Or if I rephrase my answer, right, the correlated subquery depends on the outer query for its values. The subquery depends on the outer query in simple term. We can use different definition. I think this is the pretty simple one. The subquery depends on the outer query. We can say this way also. Okay. So give me an example for this one. Okay. And I'm going to use the same thing here. Here, what I'm going to do is, let's say we want to find the employees in each department. I want to find out the employees in each department who earn more than the average salary in their department. See, earlier we have seen the employees' salary. I wanted to list out all the employees' salary less than the less than the sales department salary. Sorry, less than the sales department's average salary. Now I want to list out or display the employees in each department who earn more than the average salary in their department, respective department. So in that case, I'll explain, don't worry. Okay, select star from employee table. I just call the E1 and where salary is greater than, same thing, select average sal from employee E2, okay? And where, okay, here the greet and I used, okay, where even dot depart number, the common column is equivalent to, sorry, let me do one thing. Depart number. Will it work? I just use semicolon here. Will it work? Let me just press F5. It is working fine. This time it shows 6 records because in this case, we wanted to say in each department, average salary, find out the average salary in each department. And then you list out those employees are getting more salary than their respective department salary. Supposing you have the sales department and marketing department, if you find out the average salary in sales department and find out the average, average salary in each department, marketing department, sales department. For example, where already we have found, right? The average of the sales department 1566. This is my which department? Sales department. Okay. And find out those employees belongs to the sales department, their salary is more than this 1566. Within each department, find out which employees are getting more than their respective department's average salary. Let's say you have another guy, another department called marketing department. The marketing department, let's assume that the average salary is 1,600. Okay, 1,600. This is the average salary. Okay, and find out those employees in marketing department are drawing more than 1,000. Drawing more than their marketing department average salary, and those employees are getting more than the average sales, average salary of their respective department sales. List out all the employees who gets more than their respective department's average salary. This is interesting, right? So in this kind of situation, if you look at the subquery here, this is what your subquery. In this subquery, it depends on the outer query. So my outer query is even dot depart number. In this case, what happened is the correlated query is executed repeatedly. So once for each row evaluated by the outer query. Okay, for each row evaluated by the outer query. So this subquery will get executed once for each row. Whereas in this case, the previous case, so far we discussed, right? The subquery is executed only once, whereas in this case, the subquery is executed more than one time, executed repeatedly, once for each row evaluated by the outer query. This is a simple example, okay? If they ask you what is the difference in subquery and non-correlated subquery and correlated, in the case of correlated subquery, the subquery is depending on the outer query. And also in the case of the correlated subquery, the correlated subquery is executed repeatedly once for each row evaluated by the outer query. Okay. So the correlated subquery is also called as a repeating subquery. Okay. For each row from your outer query, the subquery is getting executed in simple term. If I make it very simple, for each row in your outer query, the subquery will get executed. It is very expensive one, isn't it? Whereas in the previous case, the subquery will get executed only once. The output of the subquery's value will be driving your outer query. But whereas in this case, for each and every row of your outer query, this subquery will get executed. Hence, you need to be very, very cautious when you use the correlated subquery. Okay, the subquery, then simple term, simple definition is, I'll just subquery depends on the outer query. You can say that way, or the subquery uses values from outer query. You can say that way also. Very simple one. Okay, in the case of non-correlated subquery, the subquery gets executed only once. It is independent of my outer query. It is nowhere related to my outer query. But whereas in the case of correlated subquery, the subquery depends on the outer query, or we can say the subquery uses values from outer query. Okay, and you can write it something like this. These are one classic example for using this one. Okay. Now, what is the difference between these two? Difference between these two. What is the difference? Difference between subquery, the plain subquery, okay, subquery, and the correlated subquery. The difference is the plain subquery is executed, the subquery or the normal subquery executed only once, whereas the correlated subquery executed multiple times. Multiple time for every row of subquery. Okay, every row of subquery. We can say that way also. This is a classic example. Okay, so this is what the difference between all these things. Okay, the next one is the exists operator. What is the exists operator? Okay, it's Amal. I understood. It is already late for you. Are in Dubai now. Okay, and I understood you need to get into the office thing. Okay, fine. To what we will do is the next session, we will look at the exists operator, and then the union all intersect and those operators, set operators. Okay, not in having, and then the group by will take a deep dive, and then if possible, we will start with the joins also. Okay, we'll complete the joins also. If you are done everything, right, joins everything, 1 or 2 sessions, we are all set. Next one, we'll jump into the stored procedure, triggers, and those kind of things. Okay. So, okay. And what I will is, I will wrap up the session now. And tomorrow I'll be leaving from, 1 second, I'll just